Good morning, students. Yesterday we have learned work done by a variable force, that is integral of f of x dx under the limits xi to xf, and then we learned the work energy theorem for variable force. The change in kinetic energy kf minus ki is equal to integral of fx dx with lower limit xi and upper limit xf. Different integral of fx dx with lower limit xi and upper limit xf. Now, what is the meaning of this integration and integral? Let us learn something about it. You are going to learn in detail in 12th class, but the application of integration and differentiation we are learning in physics, especially in mechanics of 11th class. So we will learn a little bit of it. Directly we will take the result of integral of some functions and we will apply it for the problems of mechanics, problems of physics in 11th class. So first of all, what is integration? Integration is inverse of differentiation. Inverse of differentiation. Yesterday while calculating the area under a graph, if the graph is a straight line, then we will get a regular shape. Then area of a regular geometrical shape is very easy to find out. If it is a rectangular shape or square shape or any other shape, regular shape, we can very easily find out the area using the known formulae. But if the graph is not regular, if the graph is curved, if it is any irregular shape, then area under the graph, how to find out? Then we use the integration, the process of integration. So for a small change with respect to certain variable like time, we use differentiation. To find small change with respect to time, small change in position with respect to time, we found it as velocity. Small change in velocity with respect to time, we found it as acceleration. There we applied the concept of differentiation. Now for finding the total area under the graph, we use the concept of integration. That's what we did in the last video. Now let us see what is the integration mathematical operation. Suppose we have a function gx. We have a function gx whose derivative is fx. Derivative of gx is fx. We can write it mathematically. Fx is equal to d by dx of gx. In general, we are taking in general. d by dx of gx is fx. So gx is the derivative of fx. So when you do differentiation of gx with respect to x, we get fx. Then what is integration? Here gx is now going to be the integral of fx. It is just the inverse process of differentiation. So if you carry out the integration of fx, take this dx this side, then we get fx dx. Integration of fx dx results gx. This is the meaning of the integration. Now integral with lower and upper limits, specified lower and upper limits, is called as a definite integral. Yesterday we have learned force fx dx with lower limit xi and upper limit xf. The limits are specified, lower limit xi, upper limit xf. Then it is called as a definite integral. Let us see some of the formulae so that we can apply those formulae in our numerical problems. Formulae of integration. Then you will become familiar with formula of integration, just like formula of differentiation what we have used. Mainly here we use two important formulae. Directly we are using those results in the solutions of numerical problems. First one, integration of x raised to n dx. As we have carried out differentiation of x raised to n, differentiation of x raised to n with respect to x is n into x raised to n minus 1. Here you see integration of x raised to n dx gives us x raised to n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. You must remember this. How is this resulted on you are learning in 12th standard integral calculus in detail, laboriously. You are going to solve some thousands of problems, I can say, next year 12th class. But here for the solution of numerical problems in physics, just remember this. If it is an integration of the function x raised to n dx with respect to x dx, then the result is x raised to n plus 1 divided by n plus 1, where n is not equal to minus 1. For all other integers, we can use this n equal to minus 2 minus and all other negative numbers, and n greater than 1 also we can use this. N equal to 0 also we can use this. But if it is n equal to minus 1, then we cannot use this. If it is n equal to minus 1, that is second one. If n is equal to minus 1, then the same equation becomes integration of x raised to minus 1 dx. Then x raised to minus 1 dx can be written as integration of 1 by x dx. Then the result of integration of 1 by x dx, this result we have standard equation, natural log of x. Then what is the meaning of natural log of x? That is next question. It is nothing but log of x to the base e. Log of x to the base e. So this is the result of 1 by x dx. When you see in this formula, if you put x equal to minus 1, you cannot use this equation. This equation is invalid for n equal to minus 1. For n equal to minus 1. If it is n equal to minus 1, then we get the second result, integration of 1 by x dx equal to natural log x. Natural log x means log x to the base e. Base e. It is called base e, where e is called Neperian base. E has a definite value, 2.71. So when you learn logarithms, there you will come to know what is the natural log and what is the log to the base 10. All these things you are going to learn. Based on this, we are going to solve one numerical problem. Okay, then you will come to know what is the meaning of this. Now let us see how is the integration, inverse process of differentiation. Inverse of differentiation is integration. That's what just now we have discussed. How is it? Let us see one example. We know differentiation of x raised to n is equal to n into x raised to n minus 1. Then what is differentiation of x raised to n plus 1? Differentiation of x raised to n plus 1 is n plus 1 into x to the power n. N plus 1 into x to the power n plus 1 minus 1. X to the power n plus 1 minus 1 becomes n to the x to the power n. So differentiation of x to the power n plus 1, differentiation of x to the power n plus 1 gives us n plus 1 into x to the power n. We are going to make use of this function. We know that differentiation of x to the power n plus 1 with respect to x, if you carry out this with the known formula, we get n plus 1 into x to the power n plus 1 minus 1. N plus 1 minus 1 according to the standard equation, standard formula. Then this gives us n plus 1 into x to the power n. Now, if we do the differentiation of this function, integration of this integration of this, we will get the result x to the power n plus 1. Let us see. Integration of n plus 1 into x to the power n dx. With respect to x, we write it as dx. Take this s. Then if you take this dx this side, then differentiation, integration of n plus 1 into x to the power n. Integration of n plus 1 into x to the power n dx. When you take it dx this side. If you carry out this, let us check whether we are going to get the result x raised to n plus 1 or not. Let us check. Reverse. I should get the result x raised to n plus 1. So keep this n plus 1 being a constant outside. Integration of x to the power n. Integration of x to the power n. X raised to n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. X raised to n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. See, n plus 1 cancels. When you cancel n plus 1, you are left with x to the power n plus 1. So that's how we prove integration is inverse of differentiation. Differentiation of x to the power n plus 1 gives us n plus 1 into x to the power n. Integration of n plus 1 into x to the power n. Integration of n plus 1 into x to the power n gives us x to the power n plus 1. That's how we prove that integration is reverse process of differentiation or inverse process of differentiation. Let us solve one problem so that we will understand the meaning of integration, and over the period of time when we go on discussing potential energy, kinetic energy, there we will come to know what is the meaning of integration quite clearly. So you need not worry much. We will solve numerical problems. With the help of numerical problems, we will become familiar with the meaning of differentiation as well as integration. So we are applying only the standard results, standard formula into the numerical problems and get the result. That's it. We are not going into the details of differential calculus and integral calculus. Differential calculus and integral calculus you are going to learn in 12th standard mathematics in detail. Okay. Okay, let us solve one problem where we will understand the application of integration. A block of mass 1 kg moving on a horizontal surface. Block of mass 1 kg moving on a horizontal surface with speed 2 meter per second. Its initial speed is 2 meter per second. It enters on a rough patch. It enters on a rough patch. You can see the diagram. Ranging from xi equal to 0.1 meter. From initial position xi equal to 0.1 meter to xf 2.01 meter. To final position 2.101 meter. You can just mark it as xi. And this one as xf. So this is x. You can say this is position function x. So it enters with 2 meter per second from 0.1 meter onto the rough surface. I have shown here how it is rough surface up to 2.01. In this, retarding force is acting. Retarding force Fr is acting on the block, which is inversely proportional to the distance x. It is inversely proportional to the distance x. As x increases, the retarding force decreases. That is the meaning. Inversely proportional to the distance x. As x decreases, force increases. As x increases, force decreases. Inversely proportional to the distance x. So which is given by function Fr equal to minus k by x. This is one opposing force, retarding force, minus k by x for the patch only on this rough patch, from ranging from x equal to 0.1 meter, x equal to 0.1 meter to 2.01 meter only. For x less than 0.1 meter, for the distance which is less than 0.1 meter, there is no retarding force. Retarding force is 0. Retarding force is 0 up to here. And for x greater than 2.01 meter, again for this greater than 2.01 meter, Fr is 0. This is given condition. I think you got the meaning, the range, right? What is the final kinetic energy and speed Vf of the block as it crosses the patch? What is the final kinetic energy here, right? And what is its final speed Vf? What is final kinetic energy? Kf and Vf as it just crosses the final point 2.01 meter. This is the question. Now we have to make use of the work energy theorem, right? Work energy theorem for variable force. The force is not constant here. The force is variable with this given function. Now we have answer. Work energy theorem for variable force. Work energy theorem for variable force. Kf minus Ki is equal to integral of Fx dx with the lower limit xi and upper limit xf. Lower limit xi and upper limit xf. This is what we have learned yesterday. Now we have to just substitute the value of Fx and substitute the value of initial kinetic energy, because we know mass of the block 1 kg, initial velocity of the block 2 meter per second. You can substitute so that you can get initial kinetic energy Ki. With the help of this, you can get the value of Kf. So this implies Kf is equal to Ki, take this Ki on the right hand side, plus integral of, what is Fx? Just substitute this, minus small k by x. Small k is a constant. It is given. Small k by x dx between the limit. What is the limit? Xi. Xi to the xf. Xi is also given 0.1. Xf is also given 2.01. Right. Now what is Ki? Just you can write half m vi square. Half m vi square. So just write the value of half m vi square. So that becomes half into mass of the block is 1 kg and initial velocity of the block is 2 meter per second. So 2 into 2. So if you cancel 1, 2, it becomes 2 joules. So it becomes 2 joules. So I can substitute Ki as 2 joules. Therefore, Kf is equal to 2 minus, you take it out. What is value of K? K value is given here. K value is, yes, 0.5. K value is 0.5 minus, okay, one step I will get. Minus K I have kept outside. Integration of Xi. What is Xi value? 0.1. Xi value is 0.1. What is Xf value? 2.01. So this is called lower limit, this is called upper limit. Now integration of 1 by x dx. This is the integral equation. So integration of 1 by x dx we have to carry out. Just now I told you integration of 1 by x dx is natural log x. Natural log x. That we have to substitute. Right? And then we have to apply the upper limit and the lower limit. How to do it? See it very carefully. Now I will substitute 2 as it is, minus k. Minus k is 0.5. Integral of 1 by x dx. Just by the knowledge, it is natural log x. And we have to put the square bracket because it is a definite integral. Square bracket, lower limit 0.1, upper limit 2.01. So this gives us the result. Now what is the meaning of natural log? That question arises. Natural log means logarithm to the base e, where e is called Neperian base. E is exponential value, it is called Neperian base 2.71. Okay, you learn all these things in mathematics. If you are having Clerk's table, you can refer in the Clerk's table. Meaning of logarithm to the base e. What is the meaning of logarithm to the base e? What is the meaning of e? What is natural log? What is the log to the base 10? All these things are given. How to convert natural log to the log to the base 10? All these things will be given. So I am using that relation here. So that next step it becomes 2 minus 0.5 as it is multiplied by natural log x. Natural log x, first you substitute the value of 2.01. So natural log 2.01 minus natural log 0.1. Natural log 0.1. First upper limit, where x is there, substitute the upper limit, minus natural log, where lower limit is there, just substitute 0.1. So 2.01, 0.1. Now, I don't know whether you have learnt logarithms. There you are learning the laws of logarithm. Log m minus log n is equal to log m by n. This is one identity by the laws of logarithm. Now we will write the result. By the laws of logarithm, log m minus log n is equal to log m by n. Here it is log to the base e. Natural log means, I have told you, natural log means log to the base e. Natural log x, for example, means log to the base e x. So this log I have to here. Similarly, you are getting one more relation, log m plus log n. Log m plus, this is second one, is equal to log of product, log m. So these are the laws of logarithm. Laws of logarithm. Just like laws of indices, we get log of logarithm. Like a raised to m into a raised to n. For example, a raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. In the same way, if it is log of mn, then it is equal to log m plus log n. If it is log of m by n, then it is log m minus log n, or vice versa. Log m minus log n is equal to log of m by n. So using this above result, I can write the same step as, therefore kf is equal to 2 minus 0.5 log of natural log. I am writing it as log to, both are same, log to the base e. So using this result, 2.01 minus log of 0.1 is there, so it becomes 2.01 divided by 0.1. So now simplify this. 1 by 10, 10 goes to the numerator, so it becomes 20.01. So 2 minus 0.5 into log 20.1 becomes 20.1. By shifting the decimal, it becomes 20.1 to the base e. But you will not get this value in the logarithm table. There is a logarithm table, as I told you earlier. If you refer the logarithm table, you will not get this result. You will get the tables of log to the base 10. So there is a conversion factor. To convert this natural log into log to the base 10, you have to multiply by 2.303. 2.303. So here, log to the base e 20.1 is equal to 2.303, this is conversion factor, into log 20.1 to the base 10. This value is available in the logarithm table. So we can refer the logarithm table and get the result. So I can substitute this in the above equation. So therefore Kf is equal to 2 minus 0.5 log is calculated as 2.303 into log 20.1 to the base 10. 20.1 to the base 10. Now if you find out the value of this multiplied by this value, it comes out to be 3. So 2 minus 0.5 into 3.0. We are getting this entire result as 3.0. You can verify from the logarithm table, or you can verify from the calculator. From the scientific calculator, you can get this result. So half of 3. What is half of 3? Half of 3 is 1.5. Thus Kf becomes 2 minus 1.5. That becomes 0.5 joules. So final kinetic energy becomes 0.5. Once you get the final kinetic energy, now we can calculate final speed. Therefore, Kf is equal to half m Vf square. So using this, we can calculate. Therefore, final speed Vf is equal to 2 times Kf. 2 times Kf divided by m square. Vf square is equal to 2 Kf divided by m. So therefore, Vf is equal to what? Vf is equal to under root 2 Kf divided by m. We have the value of Kf, we have the value of m. Therefore, Vf is equal to square root of 2 into Kf is just now we got 0.5 and mass is 1 kg. So half of 2 is 1. So thus becomes square root of 1, that is 1 meter per second. So this is how we get the result, 1 meter per second. Yes. Now in the next video we will learn the very important energy part of mechanical energy, that is potential energy. We have learned kinetic energy, then we will learn potential energy and what is the meaning of conservative forces and all. Okay, and we will solve several problems. There you will come to know, you will become familiar with the meaning of integration. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.